In the heart of South Philadelphia, where old row houses line narrow streets and the scent of cheesesteaks lingers in the autumn air, stood the once grand but now forgotten Ridgely Hotel. Built in 1883, the hotel was a hub for travelers, artists, and eccentric souls alike, its creaky corridors filled with tales of laughter and whispered secrets. But as the years wore on, the Ridgely fell to ruin, becoming little more than a shadow, a relic of better days. By 2023, only a few tenants remained, those who couldn't leave or simply had nowhere else to go. The hotel had a dark allure that drew in the curious and the desperate. One of them was Mia Torres, a recent college graduate who took on a job cataloguing city records for an upcoming urban restoration project. She was bright and skeptical, the kind of girl who rolled her eyes at ghost stories. But when Mia heard whispers of disappearances at the Ridgely, her curiosity got the better of her. She'd heard stories of missing persons from South Philly dating back to the 1920s, all last seen at or around the hotel. And while the police had brushed it off as urban legends or the misfortunes of transient folks, Mia wanted to know more. Mia arrived at the Ridgely on a chilly October afternoon, armed with a flashlight, a notebook, and a small recording device. The entrance was barricaded with a rusted chain and a sign that read, "Condemned." She slipped under the chain and forced her way through the heavy, sagging door. Inside, the silence was palpable. The musty air filled her lungs, and the faint scent of mildew wafted up from the carpeted floor. The wallpaper was peeling, and faded portraits of unknown men and women watched her from their dusty frames. The Ridgely was asleep, but it was waiting. She could feel it. As she moved through the lobby, Mia felt a sense of dread prickling her skin. She shrugged it off. Her logical mind told her this was just an old building with creaky floors and drafty windows, but a deeper instinct warned her otherwise. Mia's footsteps echoed as she climbed the main staircase, her flashlight beams slicing through the darkness. The second floor was a warren of narrow hallways and locked doors, each room once home to someone with a story. She paused at room 214, where a faint tapping sound caught her attention. The door to 214 was ajar. Mia's heart thudded as she pushed it open, revealing a dimly lit room with a single flickering light bulb swinging from the ceiling. The walls were adorned with newspaper clippings detailing decades-old murders and disappearances, all within a few blocks of the Ridgely. She noticed the most recent headline, "Local man disappears near Ridgely Hotel," dated only 2 weeks ago. Beneath it, scrawled in faded red ink, were the words, "The ones who see too much never leave." A chill ran down her spine as she took a step back, but before she could exit, the door swung shut behind her with a resounding slam. Her flashlight flickered and then died, plunging her into darkness. Heart pounding, she groped for the handle, but it was stuck. No, held shut. Then, faintly at first, Mia heard a sound like whispers, as if a dozen voices were murmuring just beyond the edge of her hearing. They grew louder, an incoherent cacophony that filled the room, whispering her name, telling her to run, to leave while she still could. But it was too late. The walls seemed to pulse and breathe around her as if alive, and out of the corner of her eye, she saw something shift in the shadows. A shape, a man with hollow eyes and a wide, twisted smile, standing right behind her. Mia tried to scream, but the sound died in her throat. The man reached out, his hand cold as ice, and placed a finger over her lips. "Shh," he whispered, his breath rancid with decay. "You don't want to wake them." And with that, the shadows swallowed Mia Torres, just as they had so many others before her, leaving only silence in the halls of the Ridgely Hotel. To this day, locals still pass the Ridgely, but no one dares to enter. And on quiet October nights, some say you can still hear Mia's whispers in the wind, a warning to all who might come too close to the silence that waits in South Philly.